Yeah, Talladega
getting
Nights.
almost raped in a Alabama, Tennessee. What's the fucking difference? Where are you guys from?
Georgia.
Okay.
Missouri.
North Carolina.
All over.
Wow, he took offense to North Carolina, right? Everything was fine until it was my turn.
He was cool with Missouri, but North Carolina, ooh, he knows the kind of people that live there.
I guess.
Not a fan.
Yeah. Shitty.
Sorry, guys.
Mr. Beast is from North Carolina.
What are you doing right now?
Yeah,
I've been editing videos since 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I haven't eaten or drank much of anything. So this is to kill the pain and help me to perform better on this podcast, I suppose.
It is a performance-enhancing drug,
yes.
up to a point. And then it becomes a good way to say things you wish you didn't. That's the way podcasting goes. So how long have you been doing it? Oh, go for it, man.
Oh, I just want to say, what was the conversation flow like before I disrupted everything with my audio trouble? What were we talking about?
We were talking about
the Joker movie and
what was more recent?
UFC stuff.
I'm actually a pretty serious MMA. I'm a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, so I can talk about
really?
That.
That's very cool.
I haven't seen the Joker though. My purple belt's in the other room. I'd
You're not wearing it?
Do that.
I believe you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, that's very cool.
Yeah, I grew up when I was 18 years old. I moved into Uriah Faber. I don't know if you guys know him. He's a Hall of Famer in the UFC. I moved into one of the houses he rented out in Sacramento. And that was my baptism into the adult world because those guys would be gangbanging chicks and there would be fucking orgies and shit like that going on. Cool. Not him in particular, but
he's short,
but people in the circle. Yeah, that's how it works. If you're below 5'7", no pussy for you. Oh, he's a good guy.
Yeah,
I love your eye. He's one of my big role models. But I know some stuff about the UFC. What were you guys talking about in particular?
Nate Diaz testing positive, and he's out of the next event.
I just saw that headline.
Yeah, we're kind of bummed about that. Doesn't seem like he's the guy always calling people out for everybody does steroids, and like I said, I guess he was telling the truth.
I got a thing for Danny. So you're a purple belt. They were asking me this on my live stream last night. How does that purple belt translate into surviving through prison?
I think it's the best anti-rape martial art there is. So, just assuming you don't get... If somebody puts a sharpened toothbrush to your jugular, no martial art on earth is going to save you. No. But even if it's a gang rape, I think a good purple belt has a shot at least making one of those guys unconscious before you get penetrated too much. And that's a worthy goal in a gang rape.
Dude, getting gang raped, I've never thought about this, but you know how when you're at the DMV and someone's taken forever and they're number 62 and you're number 79? Imagine that, but you're being raped. Like, that even after this guy finishes savaging your little tight boy pussy, there's 10 to come. That's
where
terrible.
Do you go from there? Kyle, did you ever lay eyes on the guy who wanted to fuck you when you were in prison?
I don't know which one it was. I didn't want to know.
For the sake of journalism and radio, you should have found out. I'm curious about that.
It didn't seem like something I should ask too much about. Yeah, I didn't.
On the plus side, Kyle, I have gotten so many laughs at social outings telling that story about Snow coming up. And they're like, you're the guy you do the podcast with. He got out of jail, right? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, it was really easy. You were saying it was a joke. I'm like, no, it's actually way funnier than that. He thought he was going to get molested by someone because his Hispanic giant friend told him about it. And it laughs and laughs and laughs. So thanks for that.
How much do you weigh, Danny?
About 180 pounds. I don't know.
Because that's actually pretty good. Because I always pegged a belt to be worth about 40 pounds, right? So I'm going to say a 180-pound blue belt and a 220-pound white belt. Close, right?
Yeah.
And then the same thing, blue and purple, right? 180-pound purple belt and a 220-pound blue belt.
Yeah, I think
close.
You're onto something there. Because, one of the most frustrating things that happens in jiu-jitsu is when a former linebacker dude comes in and puts on a white belt, and after 2 weeks, you have trouble submitting him. It happens. So I think you're not too far off with that math you're doing.
Yeah. So then I've taken that and I'm going to prison with it. And, I'm like, all right. So with a purple belt, that's 80 pounds. That gets you pretty far. Is it 260?
Yes.
Yeah. And at 260 pounds, close.
The thing about Jiu-jitsu is ideally the fight would be one-on-one on an empty soccer field. So whenever you get away from that, you add a body whenever the floor is not grass but cement, and whenever there's any jagged edges around, like in a cafeteria or a bar, it gets more and more complicated. So in a cafeteria fight in prison, I'd rather be a boxer and a wrestler.
So you're missing out. Jiu-jitsu, each belt in jiu-jitsu might be worth 40 pounds, but each year running track and field is worth 100 pounds. If you can really sprint, you're going to be way ahead of the game. You're going to want to run from these scenarios. I didn't feel like any amount of being a badass was going to assist me if there were a couple of
no, you would have been raped so hard.
So much harder. Like I feel like if you beat one of them up, like they're just going to like really rape you extra hard then.
Oh yeah. It's going to be vengeance rape. Like remember the three sisters?
You're crazy. My father told me to punch that bully right in the nose, Kyle.
Because they're cowards
on the inside.
That is one of the biggest lies floating around. That bully, just because he hit puberty at 9 and he's got chest hair, doesn't mean you can't take him. It's like, no, it absolutely means you're going to get your shit pushed in if you fuck.
33. I got chest hair like last year.
The reason he's bullying me is because I pose no threat.
Yeah. So, Danny, you said you've been doing it since 18, right? How old are you now?
17. I'm 29 now.
29? Okay.
Yeah.
Close to the same age.
Yeah. So. And jiu-jitsu, I think in prison, the good thing about jiu-jitsu is even if you get your ass kicked, it's the best martial art to not be killed with and not get raped with. So even if you leave with a broken nose and black eyes, I think you might be able to stop the penis from penetrating your anal cavity if you've got a good enough butterfly guard.
Well, you and I have different goals.
If I knew I was going to prison, I would drop all of my weightlifting and just do Kegels.
Yep.
the kind of ass that you can't penetrate. It's too tight.
Well,
I keep going at him, but nothing happens.
It's not going through. The Aryan Brotherhood's like, we've lost too many men to broken dicks. I'm trying to get into that boy's ass. And I'm just the king of the block.
Yo, that Wedo.
Yeah, they call him Taylor Tight Ass.
That Wedo's tight as a drum. You can't get in.
That's what I would do.
That's where I thought you were going with that you were doing Kegels for their pleasure, like you were going to be the most popular lay in all of prison. Then you'd get a guy who'd be your protector and want you for himself only. So that might be another way to not get.
I was a little afraid for a while. That's what I had. I was like, I hope Snow doesn't think I'm his boy.
You get in from your like third day of running and you finish showering and he's just on his bed like, hey, he's not gonna take care of himself.
Oh God.
You're like, I'm just gonna go eat chili and read Harry Potter. He's like, yeah, after this.
I forget where I watch these prison YouTube channels, right? And this is much more hardcore prison than Kyle went to. And the guy was like gonna be raped. And the word was out. It was a problem for him, and his cellie was like, like I could help you get used to being raped. Like it's a service he offered. Like I could fuck you now, and then, when the time comes, you'll be prepared for it.
What a grift!
He did it because he felt like that wasn't an offer. That wasn't an optional offer. So, that's how it went down.
We weren't going to rape you at all, but you're silly. He says you're giving it away like candy bars.
Your cellie speaks highly of you.
Everyone in every prison is Hispanic.
It's not nearly as offensive as my black accent.
It's more just like doing Danny Trejo than anything
else. Far too many sponsors when I do the black one.
We can't be pouring sponsors down the drain anymore, boys. Have you ever come in? Oh, go for it.
I'm looking forward to the gang rape scene that you foreshadowed on your prison story.
That is the exact version that I had in prison, the paperback and that design on the cover and everything. There's been a couple different iterations of it, but yeah, it's like it's around page 850 or so, somewhere in there. I had it bookmarked. It's
I'm not surprised.
It's a bit much. It just didn't seem like it was required at all. He sort of like created the problem that required it. If you know what I mean. It's like, all of a sudden Richie can't remember which way to go, left or right. And Beverly's like, It's because the magic of our bond is breaking. I know what would bring us all together. She starts fucking stripping naked. And they're all like, whoa, why are you stripping naked, Beverly? We're 11. And she's like, you got to put your things in me. And it was awkward.
Nothing gets me rolling like when a girl calls it my thing.
How many times do you think Stephen King himself masturbated while writing that scene?
Hundreds.
I know
Hundreds
it happened. It happened a lot. Hundreds?
Man, it's hard to type with my
Actually, probably not hundreds. I would say a couple, but he was doing so many drugs, there's no way his dick was working. So he was furiously beating off to his own story with a mostly limp, flaccid penis.
Yeah.
And at some point, he probably finished, and then he's like, all right, the story can continue with the clown.
Yeah, he was a bad alcoholic and cokehead, huh? I read his on writing book, and he talks all about it. Yeah. He doesn't remember writing Cujo. He was blacked out the entire time he wrote Cujo. That's an accomplishment. That's something to strive for.
That's incredible, because last time I blacked out, I chipped a tooth.
I read a New York Times bestseller.
Yeah, no, and nobody cared. No, believe it or not, I was mocked for it.